And the love is pouring somewhere in the sky, sitting in heaven, speaking out the mouth of God. I see it, I believe it. The oil of joy. Welcome to the Voice of the Prophet. Once again, I'm your host, Prophet Lumene Chenet. We are gathering here today to talk about godly relationship in marriage. But the topic on today, we're going to highlight understanding covenant before marriage. This is a well-needed topic to talk about because people need to hear some things before they get in trouble. We're living in a time so many wrong things are happening. But joining me in this conversation tonight is none other than my beautiful sister, Minister Sassu. How you doing, sis? What's going on with you?
I'm doing well, man of God. How are you?
Listen, we're gonna have some awesome discussion on tonight because we want to highlight an amazing subject that is needed in this time right now. There's so many confusion, as you can see, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to marriage, and this is the burden that God has put in my heart. And as you can experience, all these years I've been in the cave, just
Hibernating.
you know. And the first segment we're going to talk about today is what is relationship and what is its purpose. And I would really like to hear your thought according to what you have learned so far in the book. So talk to me.
Well, I talk a lot, so when you say talk to you, I be careful with that. But so far in this book, it's really been just an eye opener, especially like you mentioned before, given my history when it comes to relationships and what I perceived what a relationship should be based off of what the world tradition would go by.
Right.
However, when truth is revealed, you can't deny it, which is what this book is really doing. It just speaks truth because it comes from a biblical foundation. So based off of what I read and what I perceived, and also what I've been able to experience, relationship is a foundation. It's not pride. It's not egotistical, narcissistic. It's your foundation. I'm going to repeat this a lot, but there's one quote in the book that really kind of just defines everything. What was built by God or established by God cannot be operated outside of the fear of God. And a lot of people may miss it because I don't want to say they will miss it. They may miss it because a lot of people still struggle with the true understanding of what the fear of God is. The fear of God is not to be afraid of God, Right. Yes, he is a mighty God, but the fear of God, as a wise prophet once taught me, is his counsel. So it's almost like saying, if I'm the creator in charge of my creation,
Right.
the only way to properly use that creation is to seek the creator. Because only I know its purpose, the intent, the design, the functionality, and also its durability, how long it can actually last.
Right.
So, not to go too deep, because I know
Right.
there's a couple of questions that feed into that, but that's really like the true foundation of what a relationship is. It was built by God, so it should operate within his counsel.
Right.
Based off of wherever you're going with it.
You have people, there's one misconception about marriage because of so many experiences and so many hardship, so many encounters people have been through or have gone through over the years or in history, period. The misconception is this. People blame marriage for a lot of hardship or difficulties or for whatever the situation may be that they are facing in a relationship. They blame marriage for the cause of these things. What people do not understand is that there's nothing wrong with marriage because marriage is a gift from God. And due to the fact that marriage is a gift from God, every good gift from above is pure.
Exactly.
There's no flaws in it.
Oh yeah.
So the purpose of relationship is a preparation for both worlds to understand each other, That's why we must examine each other in a relationship. The two individuals must take their time to understand the foundation before they get into covenant. And this is where the confusion is, because a lot of people blame God for things that they were supposed to be responsible for. And we see that happen from the very beginning. Adam blamed God for his responsibility, because he was responsible for Eve. God already established everything and give all responsibility into the hands of Adam.
Yes.
And when something went wrong, so now he blamed God for it. And this is why I always say this, before you can claim that God give you this man, God give you this woman, you have to be careful there, because God is not in the business of giving anyone.
Exactly.
God can make the connection. He can establish the path, but it's your decision to make. Because at the end of the day, I always say this, you can choose anybody to be with. Whether it's a gangster, killer, stripper, drug dealer, whatever the circumstances may be, you can always find somebody to be with, and it will be acceptable to God. Because what happened is that it is not God who's going to be with that person.
Exactly.
It is you who's going to be with that person. That's your burden to carry, not God's. God can only counsel you. He can only advise you about the way that you should go about your decision. But at the end of the day, it's your decision to make. You play a big part of making those decisions. We can see that in the life of Samson. He wanted to be with Delilah. God did not stop him. But God only informed him of the consequences.
Exactly right.
This is how God works. If you want to do whatever you want, you can. But the consequences to bear, you are the one who's going to carry it. So this is why it is important to understand the preparation of a relationship, understand its purpose before you enter into covenant. Because once you establish those things, then you can make plans for covenant.
Yes.
So, because you can see that a lot of people just find, when they find a woman, they find a man, they quickly to present them to their parents. That should be the least of things to worry about, Jesus. That should be the least of things to worry about. Why? Because you talking about, before you even considered presenting that person to your parent, you should already examine everything you need to know. Because once you bring that person or introduce that person to your parent, that's it.
Exactly.
Why? Because you should be very wise to even consider to do that. So it's the same way. The Bible says, he who finds obtain favor from the Lord. He who finds, not whom God has given a man, but you have to go find somebody you want or you desire, then you bring that person to God. Just as when you go out there, you find somebody, you introduce that person to your parents. It's the same way. You got to find the person, examine the person, do your homework. Then if you feel like the person is suitable for you, then you present them
Exactly.
to your friends and your family.
I think a big misconception, and I don't have the Bible verse in front of me, but I can hear it in my head. A lot of people draw from that and want to believe that it's God who gives the person, is whom God has put together, let not man separate.
Right.
Because even I myself was caught up in that mindset. And yes, that, okay, well, God's going to give me somebody. God will send somebody. However, there was a point in time in my life when I want to say in my 20s, where I used to think, God will give me somebody and give me somebody, or God will give me the one. And then eventually I just started thinking, well, if I meet the one and that one passes away, then I meet somebody who I actually connected better with before that other person. Was that the one too? Or did I miss out on the one?
That is perfect. I love that you bring that up, because there are people who said that this was the one from God. Is the same person that when something goes wrong and they go back into their words as if God made a mistake.
Exactly.
Because now you're going to blame God for what you did not take responsibility for.
Exactly right.
This is why I said that I stand up on that statement of saying that if God give you something, he's going to protect it.
Yes.
Because God is not double-minded. He is not like men to change his mind.
Yes.
So how come you, the same person who claimed that it was God's giving, is the same person that said that that person is the devil in your life?
Exactly.
That's a problem. So we have to, be careful with how, with what we say with our lips.
Exactly.
And not blame God for the things that we should be accountable for.
Yes.
So it is not wise to say that, okay, God give you a connection, but you made the decision. Because even God understands that he's not the one that's going to be with that person. It's your burden. Exactly. You're the one who's going to live for the rest of your life with that person. So it will not be fair for God to make that decision for you. And God is a God who respects covenant.
Yes.
You cannot say God give you this man and then you think that God tell you to divorce that person. That's a big lie. Because God will never tell you to divorce anyone.
Yes.
Point blank. There's nothing else behind it. There's nothing else in front of it. Yes. God will never tell any person to divorce anyone because God would contradict itself if God would say divorce that man.
Exactly.
Or divorce that woman. Why? Because God's words never change.
Exactly right.
His principles never change. While men's laws changes, God's law remain the same for past, present, and all eternity. So this is how we get to the next segment, which is number 2. I know we talk about a lot on this. The next segment is the difference between relationship and marriage. So now this segment is why many people practice marriage while still in a relationship. Because you have, this has been the biggest mistake ever. Because people in a relationship, they're living as though they are in a marriage.
Yes.
So they expect all the marriage principles while still in a relationship status. So talk to me. What's your understanding concerning that?
Okay, so my takeaway, there's a chapter, I want to say it's chapter 6. I could be wrong in, the book. If you don't have your copy, please purchase it. You'll see. But I want to say it's chapter 6 or chapter 5 about renting and buying. However, I even went a step further with it because in the book it does explain that renting is your relationship and buying is for the marriage. Because when you rent, you don't have that same mindset as when you're trying to buy.
You have learned something, woman.
However, even taking it even a step further, when you are in a relationship, that's your time to establish, to create that foundation.
Right.
Or to rent. You're trying to see what materials work. What doesn't work, what does work. Where should you place this, where you shouldn't place this. What you should build the foundation of the house, not focus on what you're putting in the house just yet.
That's right.
The covenant, your house is built. You see what's working. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. You see what's working. You see what's not working. You see what rooms you need. You see what rooms you don't need. Now it's time to focus on the furniture. And that's my perception of the buying. Because when you buy the house, now it's yours. Now you got to fill it with what you need. So with the question that you asked earlier, the difference between relationship and covenant, making sure you just understand where you are. You can't fill a house with furniture if you don't even have a set foundation.
Wow.
It will come crashing down. Before you can enter into that covenant, you need to make sure that it's solid enough. Again, I don't want to say perfect because even in a perfect house, you still got to change out the systems, the sewers, make sure the water's working. You got to make sure the plumbing's okay. Right. So there is no perfect marriage, but at least you know that your foundation is set. If I do choose to change this, it's not going to mess up the whole house.
There's no perfect relationship.
There's no perfect
marriage
relationship.
Is perfect. There's no perfect relationship.
Yes.
Because there's a difference there. Because everybody, you got people who's expecting the perfect man and the perfect woman. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
They're looking for perfection in a place where there's imperfection.
Yes.
So with that kind of mindset of looking for the perfect house, the perfect neighborhood, so now you end up sacrificing more than you should. Why? Because when you meet someone, everybody has flaws.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unless the house just built, which is impossible. You get what I'm saying to you? Which is impossible. Why? Because in the nature of a house that you just built, you're the only one who live there. In terms of people, you find everybody with an experience, everybody with something that they have been through in their lives,
Exactly.
which going to require you to have the patience and the wisdom to bear with one another. This is why God allowed those challenges to meet together. Because when you have an experience with someone, when you get later on in life, it helps you better. It creates a better foundation for you because you remember, I suffer with that person. Because no one run away from something that they know they suffer for.
Exactly.
It creates more patience to have bearing, to bear with that person, to have long suffering, because you know that you suffer for this. You know, this is why, you know, someone who's been, who purchased a home knows that, man, they invest everything in that place.
Exactly.
They're not going to easily get rid of it that fast. Why? Because they know that they purchase it with a price, and this price is what is going to create the patience, you know, to bear and to create long suffering with the person, and to be patient, you know, to be kind to whatever the needs may be. And this is why you have many people who enter into a relationship with a covenant mindset. You enter into a relationship while you have a covenant mindset, but yet you are not patient enough. You know, you require all kinds of things that has to do with the status of a covenant. You want the person to be obedient, you want the person to follow all the things that you required. But this is covenant language.
Yes.
Because when you're in a relationship, the person can walk away at any time.
Renting.
Yeah, they can walk away at any time. Because when somebody rent a house, they only have a year to be abide by that.
Yeah.
But in terms of a relationship, they can leave at any time. And if you yourself investing too much, while that person have a renter mindset, you're done. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Exactly.
So you need to have the patience to go through the process of examination. You're probably gonna hear that a lot, because we have to learn to examine things. The Bible says, fire tested silver and gold, but God tests our hearts. Why? Because before God established someone, He tests the foundation to reinsure that person's stability. The tested in the trials and tribulations is not to kill us, it's not to destroy us. It's to create a better stability. Anyone that built something, whether if it's a car, whether if it's a bicycle, whether if it's a motorbike, whatever it is, whether if it's a chair, they test the foundation. Exactly. Whether if it is by weight, the capacity of weight, of anything it is, there has to be a process of testing or some sort of trials for the stability of whatever it is that has been created. And this is why it's important.
And even so more, they test the outside factors too. Is this something that you can even build on or build with?
That's right. In many cases, when you first purchase a home, the first thought process is never even to rush to establish everything in the house, because you already have it. It's yours now.
Yes.
So now you take your time.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why I said that there's no Mr. Perfect, there's no Mrs. Perfect. You built the relationship the way that you desire it.
Yes.
Because you don't find a home with 100% of what you're looking for.
Yes.
You build it within the person. So if you want something, or you see the person have something that is lacking, you be patient and build it with the person.
Yes.
Just like when we purchased our second home, we was not in a hurry to build it up because it's already ours.
Yes.
So we take our time. to invest in it little by little, enable we establish it to the place that we want.
Exactly right.
You don't run away from a covenant. Only cowards do that.
Yeah.
You don't run away from a covenant. Why? Because you know that you suffer for it. You make a decision. You're not going to easily get rid of it. Because sometimes with the price you purchase something, with the price that you're about to sell it, you may even lose from the value.
Exactly.
This is why marriage is costly. To lose a marriage costs more than to enter into a covenant. Once somebody knows your value in a relationship, they will do whatever it takes for them to bear it and to put up with it. I'm not talking about those relationships or who's in abusive relationship or men treating them all kinds of way for them. This is not what I'm talking about. Because at the end of the day, you made a choice.
Yes.
We have to understand how accountability works. You made a choice that probably you didn't even consult with God.
Yes.
Because at that time, it was all about desires. You was not focusing about how it would affect anything else.
Yes.
Probably disregard every warnings that comes in the book. Your parents was talking, you didn't listen. Your friends were talking, you didn't listen. And this is why most of the time when people enter into a situation like this, they expect the world to back them up, but you disregard every counsel, that could have helped you before you enter into that covenant. So we have to respond quickly to accountability.
Yes.
Which brings us to our next topic, which is why relationship is a season of observation and learning. Before we get into anything else, this subject is understanding character, values, and responsibilities before covenant. Yes. Because a lot of people tend to have all kinds of excuses when it comes to why they didn't take the time, to learn everything. This subject is important. Why relationship is a season of observation and learning, which is understanding character, values, and responsibility before covenant. So what are your thoughts concerning that?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts. Relationships are a season of learning to establish patience and maturity. So now this is where the teacher in me kind of got to kick in.
Go ahead.
You learn to apply. It doesn't mean it's always going to stick with you, but you will take something away. When you take the time to learn the person, like you've been mentioning before, it doesn't mean you're always going to get it right. But at least you can now adapt. I already know if I'm with somebody who has anger problems, that might not ever change, but at least now I know, or I took the time to learn what makes you angry, what upsets you, what could possibly lead to that. So now it gives me a chance to adapt to the situation. Will I always be perfect in it? Probably not. But now I can apply what I've learned by taking the time. And within that, I've learned patience and I've been able to mature, not just for the other person, but also for myself too.
Right.
Because maybe I needed to learn something from whatever character, flaw, or whatever the situation may be. But without that season of learning, you'll never be able to build. You'll never be able to grow. You'll never be able to apply, not just to them, but also to your children. Because the person that you end up with, the character of that person and yourself
Very
passes
important.
on to your kid. So imagine you're with somebody that you didn't learn. And then you have their child, which I'm actually speaking from experience. I knew my son's father, but I didn't learn him enough to the point when I was raising my son, there were different things coming out of him. And I'm like, where is this coming from? This is not coming from me. But the little that I did learn about his father, I knew how to help my son in those areas. But there were certain areas of his life that he got from his father's side that I had no idea how to help him with because I didn't take the time to learn the foundation of where it came from or how his father was able to overcome those areas.
Right.
So
there's something very important here, because there's so many relationships that didn't make it. It's always have to do with somebody that didn't have the patience enough. Because when it comes to relationship, you cannot make it about you.
yes.
The moment you make it personal, you're not gonna survive. You may not even get to a covenant because you don't make it about you. If you already examine the person, you know something is not gonna work for you. You gotta leave it. You don't just go out there. You find the first house. You just said, okay, I want to buy it or I want to rent it. No, you examine the house. You examine the location to see if this is a safe space for you.
Yes.
So it's the same thing. It's the same thing, because you have to examine every little thing, because character and personality play a big part in a relationship.
And not even to cut you off, but because we went through 2 house purchases, and one of the biggest things that they do is they hire somebody to inspect. You have to do a house inspection.
Yep.
They have to check the foundation.
That's good.
They got to check the attic. They got to check and they have to report back every little thing, and then they ask you, what do you want to do about it?
Yep.
Are you still willing to take it? Do you want them to fix this?
Wow.
How do you want to go about this? Because it's important to make sure that your foundation of what you're about to come into.
Right.
Do you agree to these terms, or do you want to let it go?
Right.
So, not to cut you off, but
no, it's good. That's good. That was a perfect knowledge there.
Whereas when you're renting, you don't have to worry about the inspection.
That's right.
That's the landlord's duty, or whoever it is in charge. But when you're purchasing that house, a key factor is that inspection.
Wow. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with the voice of the prophet, understanding relationship before marriage.